Hello, friends! Happy Wednesday. Amanda from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery here today, and I am hosting a very intimate YouTube video live from my bedroom. Why am I in my bedroom? In case you don't follow our newsletter, I had pretty major hip surgery and I am on bed rest for quite some time. But I heard from a lot of you, and a lot of you said, please make a video for this upcoming club, and I didn't want to disappoint you. So Round, my Squishmallow and I, we are here hosting a video for you. So today I thought I would go over the new club, Toadstool Bed and Breakfast, share with you some pictures from our upcoming needleminder event, and just kind of chit chat. So don't expect something that's very professional today. Grab a drink, you're stitching, maybe knitting, crocheting, whatever you're working on, and let's hang out for a little while, and I will share with you what's going on with the pumpkins. So this summer, I said to Ashley, I said, I am dying to do a club a little bit differently. I want to do something long term, but PDF only. I don't really want to offer kits. I want something that people can join and stitch from their stash. And she had designed a little fox like sitting next to a toadstool. And I thought, okay, this is adorable. And then it kind of morphed into like, what if the toadstool was a bed and breakfast? What if that bed and breakfast accepted guests? What if that bed and breakfast decorated for the seasons? And the next thing you know, we have now Toadstool Bed and Breakfast, our brand new club. And I'm really, really, really thrilled with how it came out. Like, I feel like we got to really use our creative chops on this because there wasn't the pressure of creating a kit. So this is going to be really different because we have stitched the sample twice. So for the club, you get 4 toadstools throughout the year. We're starting in December and ending next September. I have the PDF here, so I don't unfortunately have all this memorized. Stitching begins December 5th and then ends September 4th, 2026. And so you're going to be stitching 4 toadstools, 1 for each season. And we are stitching the sample twice. So one sample is going to be stitched all on a neutral piece of fabric, all 4 toadstools in a row. Super cute. Then we really got to have fun and pick a fabric to match each individual toadstool. So you can stitch your toadstools all on one, or you can stitch individual toadstools. And you're probably thinking to yourself, how am I going to decide? And the answer is, I don't know how you're going to decide, but don't worry because Ashley has you covered, and she designed a layout page for you. So if you do decide that you want to stitch all on one piece of fabric, there's instructions for how to do that. And then the other part of this that makes it a lot of fun is that we really went crazy with the colors. Like, instead of trying to be kind of frugal with colors, we really just let the design tell us what it wanted to be. Like, it really, some months are, or I should say some seasons are much more colorful than others. And to reflect that, we did something different. And if you ever bought a club from us, you know that we usually have like a little guide with cute little bubbles, and you go to the store and you pick your threads. This year, well, I should say this club, it's laid out considerably different. And I don't want you to be nervous and I don't want you to be scared because it is a little bit overwhelming at first, but I'm hoping that once I explain it to you, and if you take a step back and be like, oh wait, this isn't that hard, it will make more sense. So when you get the PDF, you will get all of the color keys up front. Okay, awesome, right? And then what we've done is we tell you the individual fabric. So for example, winter is stitched on a piece of chalkboard black. But if you want to stitch all of your toadstools on a piece of fabric, you're going to need a piece that's 18 by 27, and we're using French country. So we are actually stitching all of the samples on solids. I don't think we've ever done all of our samples on solids. I think this might be one of our first, yeah, I think one of our first clubs. I think the last one might have been Woodland Sampler that we've actually stitched on a solid fabric, something that's not hand dyed. And the reason why we did this is because I want you to feel like you can stash dive, or we're releasing it early with plenty of time before Black Friday, so you can budget for maybe a piece of fabric from a dyer you've been wanting to try. Or maybe your needlework store is going to have a big sale and you've had your eye on like a polka dot piece of fabric. I want to give you all the information up front so that way you can choose your own stitching adventure. I want this to be a project that you stitch your season, you have a really good time, and then you put it away. And then we send you an email in like 4 months, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. I'm so excited to work on this. Maybe you do something special where you set aside like an evening, a course of some evenings to work on it. You work on your toadstool, and you have maybe like an adult beverage or a cup of coffee or a favorite tea or whatever. I want it to be sort of like a stitching ritual, cozy time just for you, because it feels like the world is just disaster right now. And I don't know about you, but I could definitely use some cute and comfort and like not screen time. So in addition to that, so telling you about the fabric, you can pick whatever you want. Of course, we include the finished pattern size. Whoop! Of course, I knew this was going to happen if I didn't lock the screen, but that's okay. All right, we of course include the finished toadstool size. Now this isn't the finished total pattern size if you stitch them all on one. This is just for one toadstool. And then here's where it's going to get different, okay? But you have to trust me that it's not scary. Even poor Christy, who tech edits, was like, this is like a lot. What are you guys doing? And so what we've done is you're going to have a table, okay? And the table is going to tell you what colors for this particular toadstool are repeated and what toadstool they're repeated in. So for example, this one, Cosmo 22222, it's used in the winter and spring toadstools, but you'll still only need one skein of it. And we're hoping by giving you this information up front, it makes planning your stitching and like your supplies and how much you want to spend on this project so much easier, because I can't tell you how many times we launch a club and someone will email and say, hey, my local shop was out of 4 colors. What do I do? How do I substitute? When are those going to be used in clues? Can I order online and still have enough time? Like, I really wanted to take a lot of that guesswork out. I wanted this to be basically, you download the PDF, whether you go to the store, whether you order online, whether you grab your bin and sit on your bed with all your supplies. I want you to be able to just basically be like, okay, today's the day I'm going to grab all my colors for winter. And then maybe tomorrow is the day I'm going to grab all my supplies for spring or summer or fall. But at the same time, I want you to be like, oh, you know what? I forgot. I have a half skein of this red left over, this beautiful red silk. How can I use that? Oh, you know what? Red is used in spring. Oh, but it's also used in autumn. Oh, I could totally use that. Like, I want you to feel like you have some control over this design and your stitching time. And there's a lot of things that are going to be open for customization. So for example, the fox, he's always stitched the same colors because he's a fox. He doesn't change his colors. But if you wanted to maybe like change his fur with the seasons, you could do that. The mushroom tops change color. You can of course make all your mushroom tops maybe your favorite hand-dyed red or maybe your favorite hand-dyed brown, whatever you want to do. Like, the sky is totally the limit for your stitching in this project. And this is why, of course, we're not offering kits for it, right? Because there's, I think Ashley told me 51-ish colors if you go for what we've done. And then 4 individual pieces of fabric or 1 big piece of fabric. That's a lot to ask Nicole to keep track of. That's a lot for you to spend up front. But we're hoping by releasing it before Black Friday, like I said, you can take advantage of sales. You can stash dive with the holidays around the corner. You can ask for gift cards. I know quite a few of you have been trying to stitch from stash, and I totally understand that. So you can do that as well. And we did really kind of go crazy with the colors. We wanted to have a lot of fun, and some do have a lot. Like, for example, summer's really colorful. Like, think about summer has to be colorful, and so we have all these beautiful colors for summer. And I just really I love this pattern. And here's autumn's colors. Love autumn. This one was one of my favorites to pick the colors for. And then spring, of course, is very colorful as well. So there's really a lot of room to play around. There's a lot of room to use what you have on hand. There's a lot of room if you decide, hey, I want this to be my project. I'm just gonna spend some money. If that's what you want to do, like, do it to it. So we are going to have the PDF on sale starting Thursday, 10:30, the date of October 30th, sorry, at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Because it's a PDF, there is no like pressure to get to our website right away. Take your time, please. There's no chaos. But I will say it's going to be on a discount for $2 off. So it's going to be $12.95, I believe, until, let me just check my calendar because I don't want to say the wrong date. It is going to be on sale at the $2 off price until December 8th. And the first chart releases December 5th. So there's a few days after the first chart releases, so you can kind of see the chart, decide if it's like up your alley or not, and go from there and decide if you want to join us or not. But it won't be on like additional sale during our Black Friday store-wide sale. Like this is the only price that we have for it. Patreon subscribers get an additional $1 off. You can use your pumpkin seeds on it, of course. I'm trying to think of what else there might be floating around. If you have a referral code, you can use a referral code on it as well. The stitching is going to be 4 times a year. I hope I haven't already mentioned this. December 5th, we're going to start with the winter toadstool. Then there we go, kind of. Then March 6th, we're going to stitch the spring. June 5th, summer. And then September 4th, the autumn toadstool. And I really can't wait for you to see them because each season, I'm sorry, there's a harvester driving by and it's very loud. Please hurry. You know, it's these giant like pieces of farm equipment and they go by, and unfortunately I am not tech savvy enough to edit out their noises. Okay, well, we're just going to keep going because I'm hoping that you can't hear it too bad. So for the club, we're going to be stitching, like I said, 4 different mushrooms. They're all going to be decorated seasonally. And the kind of theme of them is Finn, who is our official fox, Finnegan McFoxington. He becomes an innkeeper after kind of like being raised underneath his mom's kitchen table and her teaching him the importance of guests and making people feel included and creating like a cozy environment. And what I've done, and this is kind of dorky, so you just have to bear with me. I'm obviously not a professional writer, but the prologue or the introductory PDF includes a prologue of the story of how the fox became an innkeeper. And with each season, I'm going to include a short story about Finn, how he's decorated his mushroom for the season, and who he has for a guest that season staying with him. The toadstool has like a little dormer window, and the guests can look out the window. So you'll be able to see and stitch the guests as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys like that. It was a lot of fun to design, but it's also been a lot of fun to write the short stories. And then Ashley, being Ashley, you know, she decorates and formats them so cute. So you can see like how the fox became an innkeeper, and I share with you like the whole story. I did have someone, a Patreon subscriber, send a message and say, could you do a video of you reading each month? And I might do that. We'll see. I just have to see how I'm feeling and how I have problems with my vocal cords and see how that goes, but I'm not against it. I think it would be really cute if we had like story time together, or maybe we meet on YouTube or Instagram and I can read it aloud while you start stitching. I feel like that'd be just like the epitome of very cozy vibes, and I want that for you. So that's one really fun part about it. And as I mentioned, he changes the decor of his mushroom with the seasons, okay? And this is not limited to, he changes the color of his mushroom roof. He adds different like decor elements to the front. He repaints his windowsill. He repaints his front door. He gets a new welcome mat. Like, he goes all in for the seasons. He wants everyone to feel welcome, and he wants everyone to feel cozy, and he wants everyone to truly experience the season with him. So this is like the overarching, I guess, vibe of this club would be, I want you to feel included. I want you to feel cozy. I want you to hang out with Finn. I want you to do something nice for yourself, if that makes sense. So that's kind of like what we're going for with Toadstool Bed and Breakfast. And then, because I know people are going to be like, but what about needle minders? Okay, so let me just take a drink real quick. I need my lifeblood of Diet Coke. One thing that being on bed rest has taught me is, gosh, there are some days when I'm like, this day would be so much better if I just went and got a crispy Diet Coke from McDonald's. But I can't drive, so I'm at the mercy of people around me. I send a lot of texts like, SOS, SOS, can someone bring me a Diet Coke? My husband usually will, which is really great. But, oh, let me show you a sneak peek while I have it open. Okay, so here is a sneak peek. So as I told you, Finn likes to go all out and he decorates. And so here is a little peek of Finn's cheek. And then you can see his guest helped him build a snow fox who's decorated. He's got it on his hat. He's got a scarf. Finn might knit. I feel like Finn's really crafty. I think he would do that. And there's also some skis in the background. So this is very like winter woodsy for Finn for winter. And I know that there are a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, I love the like lace designs that Ashley does. And there is like a little bit of a lace border at the top and at the bottom, and it's all has like little seasonal elements. So each mushroom B&B is kind of shaped like this, and then there's a top border and a bottom border around them. They're kind of this shape. It's amazing. We haven't done this design shape before, so I'm really looking forward to hearing how you like that. And then for the needleminder event, okay, so I'm trying to be really conscientious of everyone's like finances and budget and that sort of thing right now, because I know that the economy is kind of crazy. I know whatever you have going on, I hear you and I get you. So it didn't feel right to release a club needleminder and then expect you to pay shipping like 2 weeks later. I'm so sorry, there's a mosquito in my room. And then have you buy needle minders like 2 weeks later, so you'd be paying shipping twice. Like, that doesn't seem fair to anyone. So we are bumping our annual needle minder event up, and it's going to start Thursday, and it's going to run only until the 4th, which is the Tuesday. And the reason why we're doing it this way is A, so you can combine shipping. B, Maria has a big show in Pomona, a fiber festival, and I want to make sure that like we're not kind of taken over her business time for that. Also, I wanted there to be plenty of time for Nicole to ship your packages. Like, the other thing that I'm doing, which we've never done before, and I'm nervous, the entire event is pre-order. So in the past, there has actually been like a soft limit on how many needle minders you could buy, because we didn't want people buying, like, if we had 20 foxes in stock, I didn't want someone buying 15 to kind of like hoard them and then sell on Mercari and ridiculous things like that, right? Like, that's not nice. So this year we're going to do pre-orders, and it's going to be open-ended. And the main thing for this is for our international stitchers, because we have quite a few stitchers in like China, Korea, the UK, all throughout Europe. And what they usually do is they wait a year and don't buy any needle minders, and then during the needle minder event they'll get together with like their friends or just place one big order, because we can basically ship quite a few needle minders for underneath the ounce limit. So that's our thing. However, this is important, you're gonna have to see it all over our website, because it's a pre-order. Things are not going to ship until on or before December 1st. Now, we've never in the history of the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, which has been 15 years now, made a shipping, like, we've never met or we've never made a mistake on a deadline. I always buffer it by quite a few days. So I'm confident that Nicole's probably going to ship well before that. But just know that if you're going to order something, it's going to be a pre-order. However, because it's a pre-order, the sky is the limit for things. So we have been able to kind of play around with this idea of like a hotel even more. So here is our, I don't know why I keep sitting up. I can just move my arms. Okay. So here is one of the exclusive Toadstool B&B goodies. So here is our keychain that Maria engraves and has a cute little heart key fob. And then the needle minder for this is Finn's face, because look at Finn's cheeks. Aren't they so cute? I think this might be like the most simple design that we've ever done, but I think it's honestly the cutest one. And I honestly also think it would be really cute for designs like Woodland Sampler, or if you're stitching Coulter and Clementine. Like, there are a lot of other Frosted Pumpkin patterns that he would look adorable stitching with you. So she makes these for us, and they're like a thin. I wish I had mine, but unfortunately Ashley was in charge of taking pictures, so I don't have them. I just have pictures. But they are like a thin plastic. They're adorable. She like engraves them. They're awesome. I have no idea where she got these little heart things, but they're really cute. I'm gonna use them for bag charms. I love bag charms. I love that bag charms are super popular right now. I have always been the weird person who has had like 80 pounds of bric-a-brac attached to my purse at all times. So the fact that like more people are into that aesthetic is, I love it, because it just means there's more strange things that I can add to my bag readily available. But we couldn't decide, is what I'm trying to tell you. We couldn't decide which colors to go with. So we have a red one, which is more like traditional, and then we have a green one. And I really like the green one because I think that when I think about like if I were to go like to like a woodland motel somewhere, they might give me a green one. There's also going to be a clear one. I'm just waiting on a new photo of that from Maria. And let's see, I showed you the needleminder. I told you about the needleminder event. I told you that it's a pre-order. I feel like I'm doing pretty good here. Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. I think that, yeah, that's pretty much everything. So yes, so the pre-order is going to go until the 4th. And then, actually, let me tell you our schedule for the rest of the month, because this is important dates and it can help you with like your budgeting and stuff. Let's see, the 14th of November, Patreon subscribers will get a new mini pattern called Marshmallow. Marshmallow is a mouse, and so that will be the Patreon pattern for November. We will be having a Black Friday sale, and so the Black Friday sale is going to start the 25th and go until I think the 30th, and I'm not sure if it's going to be 30 or 35% off. I have to look at my notes. And that is going to also be the release of, get ready, Bryson Bentley Badger, Chloe the Ballerina Fox, and Carmine the Cardinal ornament. I think it's going to be, so we're going to have 3 new patterns that will be released and for a discount on Black Friday weekend. So those are the patterns. If you went to Jingle Ball last year, those were our Jingle Ball patterns. Really happy to have them available this year. I'm sad, of course, that we're not at Jingle Ball, but I know everyone's going to have a super good time. And then in December, I think Ashley and I are going to probably kind of like hermit and buckle down and lay the foundation for the 2026 club. So if you are not sure what that means, every year we have hosted a year-long stitch-along. This year we weren't able to do it because Ashley, who is our main designer, she broke her arm and she was in a cast for quite some time. We were worried that she was going to have elbow surgery. And then I knew that I had this hip procedure coming up. I thought it was going to be a little bit less involved, ended up being more. And I also needed to get a radial nerve, which is the nerve in your arm right here. I needed to get mine repaired. So I'm recovering from 2 pretty in-depth surgeries. And I felt like the theme and the chart, they need to shine. Like, they are one of Ashley's best designs. And I felt like because we had things going on that were kind of like beyond our control, we wouldn't be able to enjoy the stitch along as much. We wouldn't be able to invest as much into it physically. Like, we wouldn't be able to make as many videos. We wouldn't be able to do, it was just going to be not the ideal stitching experience for you. And at the end of the day, my goal is a good stitching experience for you. So by taking the extra time, and then honestly by hosting a PDF only club, that's pretty good, like in terms of like we don't have a lot of expenses, so that's more money that we can invest in the 2026 club, which means probably more stickers, cute boxes, more little cute doodads that we can add into the box. It also means that our first launch will be bigger in terms of how much inventory we are able to carry, because like there has to be enough inventory to start, but also we don't want to order too much or too few. So for us to get like a pretty decent amount like up front, just having the finances available is awesome to be able to do that. So the time and the finances and just being able to take our time with it has been really special. I know it has been super disappointing though. Like I can't even tell you how many disappointed emails, and they honestly break my heart because I feel bad too. Like it's disappointing to me too. Like we love our year-long stitch-alongs. They're kind of like what Frosted Pumpkin is known for. And one of the questions was like, oh, if you're going to do Toadstool, is Toadstool the year-long stitch-along? And it's not. It's mostly that I had some downtime this summer while I was recovering from stuff when Ashley was going to physical therapy. And we just were like, what if we did this? And then it was literally, what if we do this? But what if Finn does this? What if Finn turns into this? And it was really freeing creatively to have that space and that time to be like, oh, we can do something really fun here. We can offer this on, multiple fabrics, and we can really use tons and tons of colors. And we just felt like it was a really good, like, creative vibe for us. Like, it got me so excited for what's coming in 2025. So the 2025 Stitch Along chart is complete. People on Patreon and I think at Jingle Ball and in just various Instagram videos, I've shared small bits and pieces of it. So the chart is done. The theme is done. We have to just decide how many kits we want to offer. And then the hardest thing for me is we've already picked all the colors, but I am indecisive on one thing, which is going to be the fabric. I'm torn on what to choose. So I need to make that decision. That's coming up very quick. It's on my calendar of to-dos. So once that's ready, then we will then place all of our supply orders, and Nicole will get busy building kits. And it's going to be a very busy couple months here. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to it. I am the happiest when I'm working and busy and being creative with you, for sure. I think that might be everything for my video. Let's see. This is a pretty long video. Oh my gosh. May I just tell you, okay, so if you're done with cross stitch, we're done with cross stitch. You now have all the information you need. The club is going to launch on Thursday, the 30th at 10 a.m. Pacific time on our website. We're also going to be having every single needleminder under the sun available, along with those other little cute keychains. Everything will be available for pre-order. Maria's going to start making them. They're also all made here in California, which is great. But if you'd like to talk books real quick. So I had grand plans of, okay, I'm going to have surgery, 2 surgeries back to back. I'm going to have all this time to read. This is going to be great. Turns out that I have very bad brain fog from anesthesia and some eye problems. So I haven't been reading, and it's been devastating. But I would like to tell you, maybe I could share with you my 3 books that I read this year that were just absolutely killer. So all right. I feel like this could be one of those click tags. I read 147 books this year, so you don't have to. No, we're not doing that. I read a lot of books this year, and I would like to tell you the ones that I think you should read. And some of them are new releases, some of them are not. Okay, are you ready? So one of my favorite ones that I read, and I'm sorry because everybody in my personal life is so tired of this. I read Lonesome Dove, and I read it in, oh, my mail just came. I read it in 2 days, and I have never loved a book and a cast of characters so much before in my life. That book, it just about destroyed me, in a couple ways. It was so beautiful, and the friendship was so beautiful, and the relationships were so challenging, and there's sadness and animal loss, which always gets me. This isn't a spoiler, one of the horses dies, and I just bawled. It's 3:00 in the morning, and my husband reaches over and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, the horse died. And Eric's like, what horse died? It's 3:00 in the morning. Well, I'm just really invested in this book. And I read it over 4th of July weekend, which for some reason felt really like the correct time to read it. There's a lot of things going on politically in our country. I'm not going to go over any of that with you. But I was sitting in my front yard, and my neighbors were lighting off firecrackers, and I'm reading Lonesome Dove, and I thought, this feels like a good experience. So I've never seen the miniseries. I know nothing about it. But if you were by any chance intimidated by its length. I've read that some copies are 800, depending on how it's formatted. Some copies are 1,000 pages. It's extremely readable. Yes, it is a dense book, but it is readable. It reads easy. It reads, you don't want to put it down. You want to know what's next for these people. You are emotionally invested in them. You're curious about the landscape. I can't even tell you how many times I just started Googling, like, if I was going to walk from Texas to Montana, how long would it take? They talk about St. Elmo's Fire. Is St. Elmo's Fire real? Like, I was just Googling everything, and I learned a whole bunch of new words. Like, it was a great experience, and I want to do it again. That's saying something, because I'm not typically a rereader. I want to reread Lonesome Dove again. Like, I even want to buy a physical copy. If that's not a glowing recommendation, I don't know what is. And then I read a really fun, and I actually did read this week. I'm going to call it like a cozy mystery with edges, horror, fantasy. And it's called Slayers of Old by Jim Hines. Don't worry, I will link anything I talk about in the comments. So it looks like this. Slayers of Old. I'm using Storygraph. I'll also link that in the comments as well. I absolutely loved this. I'm getting to an age, I'm in my 40s, where I no longer relate to protagonists who are like 19 and saving the world, right? Like, give me the old people who are saving the world and like their joints hurt and like, you know, they want to have sex, but they're also like really tired. Like, you know, you're old. Like, it's just, it is what it is. And this is the people who were once professional slayers and magicians, and it's three friends living together, a magician, a hunter, and a succubus in Salem. I would like to say that as someone who grew up next to Salem, they actually got the Salem vibes correct. The streets are all correct. Like, I don't know if the writer knows or has been, but it was great. And they have to kind of come together to solve one last thing. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. It's got some good dry humor. There's, like I said, a horror element to it. I enjoyed that. I feel like it's a great December read. I think it did just come out. I don't know that for sure. Yeah, first published 2025. So I think it's a new release. I got it from the library. It was great. I haven't been able to focus on much, and this was short, 330 pages. Kept my attention the entire time. I loved the friendship. I loved the camaraderie. I liked seeing the relationships between the friends evolve, but also the relationships with the supporting characters involve. Cool creatures, weird magic system. I was very much here for it. Then I'm trying to pick like more lighthearted reads right now. I'm not in a serious read mood, but for my book club, I belong to a book club at our local library. We read the Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang. I gave this a solid 5 stars. 5 stars right here, this one. So it was self-published, and it's chunky. It's 630 pages. Lots of fighting. The character growth. If you are a character person, especially strong female characters, but not like badass wearing leather female characters, more like a mom who is trying to just like be her own identity, this will be the book for you. Fantastic Asian magical system, fantastic cast of characters. The pacing really threw me for a loop. At one point, I was convinced that I was almost done, but I had only reached like 40%. So the pacing is kind of like up and down and up and down. And some people in the group mentioned that they didn't love that. I personally felt like it worked. I felt like the story is more the story of a woman's role in her family and what it means to be a strong woman who has children, what it means to be like a wife, what it means to be a community leader. It's very eye-opening. I loved it. I think the majority of my book club, which is I think about 15 people ranging in all different ages, genres, etc., or not genres, excuse me, genders, and everybody really enjoyed it. Like, it was, I would say the average rating was like a 3.75 in the group, which is pretty good. I also read, sorry, I am scrolling really quick. I had a lot of people suggest Dungeon Crawler Carl to me, and I did read the first book. I thought it was cute. I don't know that lit RPG is a genre for me, but I did enjoy it. I did listen to one. I've been listening to books with my eyes closed in the afternoons, and that seems to be going okay. Shrubley, The Monster Adventurer, a lit RPG adventure by James T. Callum. It's 14 hours of a shrub who fights battles and becomes an adventurer. Do you need 14 hours of a shrub doing shrub things? You tell me. For me personally, who I only have like one brain cell right now, this was exactly the book that I needed. I thought it was cute. I thought it was funny. There was enough stuff going on that was entertaining. But I also scrolled through eBay and kind of did stuff on my my iPad while I was also listening to it. So it was really good for the background. My husband also kept laughing. He's like, Shrubley. Why is he called Shrubley? I'm like, you're not listening. He is a shrub. Like, he's a shrub who fights crime. That didn't just basically I feel like that sentence sums up the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery as well. We are big on turning inanimate objects into cute things with eyeballs, a career, all kinds of things. And that was definitely one of them. I also went into a phase of listening to the Nevada Barr series. So Nevada Barr has written books since the 90s featuring Anna Pigeon, who is a alcoholic, depressed park ranger who solves crimes. Very, very good. I listened to them on audiobook. I think I've listened to the first 6. Really enjoyed them. I also read The Inheritance, which is by Ilona Andrews, and I'm a huge Ilona Andrews fan. I feel like part of the inspiration for the innkeeper of our book, our stitch along is from her innkeeper series. And this is a lit RPG. It's small, 280 pages. It was serialized on their website. I read it for the first, I want to say 6 installments, and then I decided I was going to wait and read it when it came out in a book. I had no regrets. It was great. It was really interesting. It was a lot of fun. There's a dog who I loved. And then if you like a darker mystery, The King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, 352 pages. This is dark. This is delightful. It's gritty. Let me show you the cover so you can see that one. It's dark. It's gritty. I love it. It's crime. It's family oriented. It takes place in the South. There's a family of people who own a funeral home and taking on crime, taking down like a crime syndicate, and the moral ambiguity of all of it. Oh, it was good. It was really, really good. I think I honestly read it in like a day or two. Like, it was very, very good. I'm trying to see if I have anything else that is worth mentioning. I did feel like I read a lot this year, but I also didn't love a lot of books this year. Which, I mean, it happens. It happens. Oh, I do have one more that I could talk about. Okay, so I'm trying to read middle grade fiction. So that's like elementary school, beginning of junior high-ish. And I read Rebellion 1776 by Laurie Halse Anderson. And it is all about the Revolutionary War and the smallpox epidemic and how they created the smallpox vaccine in the city of Boston. Loved it. Love a good Revolutionary War. I am looking forward to Ken Burns' new documentary. I'm a huge person who's interested in the Revolutionary War in this era of my life. It's very approachable. It talks a lot about vaccines and what vaccines do. Also, it was really interesting how they did the vaccines back then, how they quarantined an entire city as big as Boston. There is some death in it. It's dark because it's not like, uplifting period of history, but it also does teach a lot, and it's great. If you have kids and they're kind of curious about history, especially that time frame, absolutely suggest it. I want to say I could talk about books for years, but I feel like I've already been going on and on way too much. I think that might be my only one that I'm like, okay, I gotta mention that one before I'm done. or we could talk about Lonesome Dove longer. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so thank you for hanging out with me. I hope to be back into like a more professional setup in my office sometime soon, but it's been nice hanging out with you today, and I hope to have this video up soon. And yeah, it was awesome. Awesome hanging out with you, and I hope everybody's doing well. If you do leave a comment, please know it might take me a day or two extra. If you have like a time sensitive question, you can always email us hello@thefrostedpumpkinstitchery.com, and I will get back to you. All links will be in our bio below. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.